Good afternoon, everyone. It is the Fantasy Sanctuary. I am Emo Cowboy. It is week 7, and we have high-ass stakes at stake on the line this week. We need big, bold stakes for our big, bold takes. Earlier this week, I'm sure some of you here today saw that I tweeted with very extreme confidence that if Marvin Mims scored 2 touchdowns on Thursday Night Football versus the Saints, I would shove a burrito up my ass. What stakes are we going to set today as we draft Battle Royale and other tournaments on Underdog Fantasy? Let's get into it. We'll figure it out. How's everybody going? Welcome into the stream. Yes, of course. Updog, I'm here for the burrito. I am the KY saying burritos plural. I'm here for the second one. All right, folks. We will get into that. Actually, a little bit of crowdsourcing here. And I'll set the stage here to say that first off, I'd like to not shove anything up my butt. So this is more of like the onus for what's the mindset? We're in a winning mindset. We need high stakes. Hitting is one thing. Hitting to not suffer is another thing. So very willing to put something on the line here today. What that exactly is, I'm willing to talk about it. Let's chop up some ideas. Let's throw some things. Let's figure it out together. I'm going to crowdsource some of this. I'd like to make confident plays, and I'd like to hit some big weeks here. We'll talk through that as we just jump into Battle Royale. Really want to attack this in a lot of fun, different ways. And then for folks at home, we're going to be jumping into Battle Royale. Another $7 entry for 50K up top to first. So definitely a fun change the last couple weeks to chase a bigger prize up top. ADPs have shifted and kind of settled around some things. Some of my early stands, Kyron's workload and that hapless Las Vegas team definitely looking nice. I think a lot of people are going to be chasing the Saquon Barkley Giants team. I'm not as into it given the Giants secondary much weaker than their run defense. So I could definitely see I'm going to be much higher on Brown and Devonta Smith, especially with Dallas Goedert still looking like he's going to be out. Jamar Chase being outproduced by T. Higgins, so that's going to be a fun little pivot there for some teams to kind of go that way. Amon-Ra on tap with Minnesota. Still not seeing a ton of red zone work on the season, and that's been kind of like capping his ceiling for seasons overall. That said, this Minnesota defense likely not going to be as much of a cakewalk versus the run as Dallas was. Neighbors, I'm going to be chasing his return versus that Philly secondary. Absolutely. Should be a fun one. Kenneth Walker's team out of control, but he is operating with one of the best all-around setups for a running back. So we're here on the turn, 6-7. Definitely want some Malik. Tempted to pass up the Jamar Chase. He's got this nuclear ceiling that we've seen, but T. Higgins is matching him there. Kenneth Walker, Bijan. Bijan getting there in the Carolina game. Absolutely love to see it. The Seattle matchup, not sure that's going to be as vaunted as we'd want. The big 3 tight ends. Projections have them somewhat similar. I'm still kind of concerned how much Tyler Algier is mixing in. And it really does seem that like DK Metcalf and Kenneth Walker are the alphas there. He gets there with the touchdown last week, but the target share is truly insane. The Bijan stuff, he's not seeing as much receiving work. Atlanta should push Seattle, so I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker the third there. What are the stakes this week? What are the stakes? What are the stakes? It feels hackish to run back the burrito thing, doesn't it? But that really gets the people going. It really does. Need some music while we got going on here. And I know Pete and Often on the Clock with the Badgers mentioned it, but some fun options for sure. Jaden Reed kind of dropping, not getting there the last 2 weeks, has an ankle injury, so that'll be interesting. Cooper Kupp rising up at ADP, questionable game time decision. Tank Dell, the runway with Nico Collins being out, seems very nice. Going to be hard to touch any of the Miami pass catchers with such an easy rushing matchup on deck. So the Miami backs definitely interesting. Achane trending is potentially going to play this week off of the concussion. Has been a dog shit rusher, but was previously seeing a lot of good pass work. And if he's out, then Mostert becomes very interesting. Kareem Hunt with a nearly undrafted ADP with a softer matchup than maybe folks might think for the San Francisco pass defense being stronger. His workload was incredibly strong. They're coming off the bye week to get to attack that. So I like him just as much as like the Jordan Mason types. So we keep that in our back pocket. Versus Carolina, very interesting. George Kittle, obviously his workload's been really, really spicy. I think we're going to go an elite tight end here. The receivers all feel very similar. Diggs and his red zone role seems really strong without Nico in. Terry McLaurin, getting there and just missing. Dale, I see your comment about quarterback here. And so this is where it's like interesting is I get a little bit of value on McLaurin. I won't get the Jaden stack. The dime stack is available to me, but so is the Purdy. Let's go. The Carolina defense is so bad. And if B-Rob misses, they could be a little bit more pass heavy than not. So yeah, Dale saying everyone says the wait on QB. I can't pass on Josh Allen in the 5th round. I get it. That said, Hurts could fall a bit. And the Tennessee defense has been particularly strong. Although, same thing with the Jets, right? The Jets defense, super strong. Allen still getting there. Let's see. I don't remember his stats off the top of my head. Ends up 215 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. His rushing work, I think, saved him on the day for fantasy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he ended up getting that rushing touchdown. But otherwise, and so that's what you get. Jalen Hurts, I think, is a much stronger play as with a soft New York secondary matchup, and his the passing and rushing has been super solid. Their tush pushes more often, and then after that, yeah, I think it's just everything becomes pretty viable. Sam Darnold versus the Detroit secondary matchup is nice. Kirk Cousins doesn't get there versus a very soft Carolina matchup. The Seattle matchup, potentially more passing, especially with how pass heavy that Seattle's been. Jared Goff doubles versus Minnesota seem really interesting. They definitely seem like a team that can attack. And so Pollard feels like good fun chalk versus Buffalo. I think we're going to finish this off. We got a little bit of value with McLaurin. We kind of got a little different at the turn with Kenneth Walker. So I think, we're going to go here. Make sure we're not missing anything. I think Brock over Dimes seems right. I'm calling him Dimes. That said, Daniel Jones not going drafted as much. His rushing floor is higher, but quarterback to tight end feels nice. We're going to close it out there. But it is Battle Royale, so you're gonna have to get a little weird and do some other things. So I think I want to try some of these where I push one of, if not both. What happens if I push and do 2 undrafted running backs, like a Chase Brown and a Kareem Hunt, Where's the burrito, Tyler? I have to have the burrito for today? Is that what it is? Yeah, I was tempted to have a burrito for the live stream. As like, this is the big threat, but man, it's been a busy week and a busy morning, so I didn't have time I barely had time to shower for you fine virtual folks. That said, Rich, you're here. What are the stakes going to be for this week? I know Tom got real spicy with the win big or shove it up my ass. Obviously, that's why is Kareem Hunt not showing up? I just saw him. What's going on? What am I missing? Oh, it's because that's the early slate. I'm stupid. Yeah, so I definitely think that's viable to do, and I don't think a lot of people are going to do. Chase seemingly getting some really strong coach speak about getting more work. You pull up the coach speak index on that. Yeah, so Zach Taylor's quotes this week. T. Higgins is playing as well as he's ever. We want to continue to find ways to get him opportunities. When he does get touches, he makes people pay for it. And then on Chase Brown's role increasing, we're just going to continue to do the things that are best for our offense. So pretty strong for Chase Brown. Money on the line. Who do you think scores 2 touchdowns for the Sunday slate? See, that's the thing. Who do I think? And then who am I confident won't, right? Who do I think scores 2 touchdowns? Kyren live. AJ Brown live. Malik Neighbors live. Kenneth Walker live. Kittle always live for a random 2 touchdown game. Joe Mixon's role has been pretty strong. To be seen how they're going to, fight that game. He gets 2 touchdowns last week. So, I mean, he's just setting up so nicely in that game script. DK Metcalf, a dark horse, to score 2 touchdowns. So, that's interesting, right? It's best ball on call. Stepped in for a like in the GM. What's up? Bummer about Marvin Mims. Bummer for you, Sick Fox. I was pretty happy to come out there unscathed. Chuba with that Washington matchup. Dark horse has scored 2 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson's role has been really, really strong. Any of the San Francisco guys, but I think Ayuk the least likely. So maybe I make an Ayuk bet right there, right? Yeah, Deontay's role has been really strong. Has yet to have a multi-touchdown game. That could be a fun one on the line. T. Higgins, absolutely been crushing. He had a 2 touchdown game a couple weeks ago. Aaron Jones, if he plays, just with the way that they operate in the offense. Addison, sneaky there for that. J-Mo, same thing as well. All right, we're on the clock at 4. I've mentioned not liking the Saquon Barkley or the Jamar Chase, so I do want to kind of keep hammering Neighbors. I think it's a unique spot there to get back for just like a 30 to 40% target share, and a Philly secondary that's by no means a problem. Yeah, so Rich, money on line, who's scoring 2 touchdowns? You're asking me to pick my favorite for 2 touchdowns. Kyren feels like I'd go with a running back. Odds on favorite, it's a running back. It's Kyren, it's Mixon. Pollard is potentially a really strong case. Amon-Ra falling, but that combo is not at all unique considering, or is it? I think I want to set up a Jaden Carolina thing. I just think there's better roles or similar roles to go, and I haven't had any Jaden builds yet. Yeah, so it's Kyren 2 touchdowns, Joe Mixon 2 touchdowns, Tony Pollard 2 touchdowns. Sounds like he's going to, coach speak on him is they're just going to give him a majority of the work, considering Spears being out and their depth is not strong at all. Monty getting multi-touchdowns despite abysmal rushing production would shock no one. B-Rob has had a week where he's gotten dick all, but his red zone role is super strong. The Carolina matchup is weak, so that's an oddball one for sure. All right, so we're on the clock at 16. Joe Mixon right at ADP. I think there's stronger plays. Debo with Mason being questionable and banged up versus Kansas City, I like. It's a lever off of Kittle, potentially. It's a lever off of Mason, potentially. The entire Rams might not score 2 touchdowns versus Las Vegas, coming off a bye week. Really? That feels like a hot take. Las Vegas is bad. They're missing their top 2 receivers after trading Adams. The team could just quit on them. I prefer Tony Pollard over Chuba and Gibbs. And then, like I said, I want to do something different here. Laporta's role is so weak. Tight end here gets gross. So I think we're going to maybe scroll down with the tight ends and the running backs here. Mathology, welcome. Mowing the yard. Niners red zone struggles this week when Mason gets 2 tutties. There's Mathology's planting his flag saying Mason getting there. Yeah, I do want to note for folks, Jeff Mueller pointed out that Mason had yet to take any contact in practice this week. So they definitely don't know how that shoulder's going to hold up to contact. That, the worry with Mason is he gets in there and he gets banged up and they pull him early because it's like, hey, it just doesn't feel right. And then all of a sudden, you're back in the same situation last week where he was on the sidelines, like the emergency running back, but they want to get him going. And if it holds up well, then, you're set and he's back as a very viable thing. So definitely very an interesting way to play that. All right, last 2 picks here. I think we have to make ourselves get off the board. That said, with tight end, is Schultz a stronger play than Kareem Hunt? Probably. So we're going to take Kareem Hunt and still give ourselves some time. And Mathology saying Laporta is your favorite tight end this week. So that's interesting because his role has not been as strong. 1 catch, 1 touchdown last week. Obviously, they were running the ball at will. So is there like a hurry up? And that's the thing. So Detroit can take advantage of the Minnesota Brian Flores thing by having like up-tempo, no huddle stuff to help mitigate some of the coverage challenges. Tucker Kraft doesn't get there last week, but he's cleared. Still 4 targets. Fun matchup versus Houston, who just historically as a franchise have been weak against tight ends. Colby with 13 targets last week. Truly insane. He's getting just low ADOT stuff. So as far as off the wall, Hawkinson doesn't look like he's going to play this week. And if they do play him, there's no reason to ramp him up. Jonnu with some heavy coach speak. I'm going to go Kraft. So I guess one of the stakes we can say is a player I'm saying is live to score 2 touchdowns. I'll deep throw to Quesadilla. Who's that going to be? Who is that going to be? It was Bijan last week, but I just don't like this. The Seattle matchup's not nearly as nice as the Carolina one was. Mike Evans game time decision, which is not shocking given late week hammy injury. All right, look at the game logs of Kittle and Kraft against the Vikings. Okay, so you're saying like it's how teams are attacking Brian Flores with the coverage. I like that. It's interesting. Let's check it out. Yeah, so 49ers tight ends, 10 targets, 9 receptions, 102 yards, and a touchdown. And then Kraft and the Packers, 12 targets, 9 touches. And then the Jets, tight ends, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 55 yards. Yeah, so definitely like the lower A-dot middle stuff. So I like that game script wise. I like it. I like it, methodology. Get right spot for Laporta. I mean, Ben Johnson just got, you know, he's going to figure out ways to attack that offense. They're very like opponent game script specific. And they were talking about getting him going before he got injured. So I definitely. And there, Tom popping in for the burrito ass stream saying Vikes allow the 8th most tight end fantasy points. There you go. Look at that. Vibes plus math equals X. So what is that? Is Sam Laporta 2 touchdown call? Is that kind of what we're cooking up, chat? Are those the stakes that we're putting on the table? Because that's spicy. Would love some AJ Brown here. I think AJ Brown could get there this week. My God. To be fair, the tweet popped off and then Tom whipped up. I was not planning on that being the thumbnail by any means. That was Tom's doing. I have not gotten an AJ Brown Malik Neighbors start, so this is full sex fun. Faux show. Man, the Miami thing is sucked because Indianapolis is such a fun running back matchup. But Achane's been dog shit as a rusher, although bye week to get healthy. Concussion stuff. Mostert looked fine coming back. Not anything like insane. But like the quarterback is so bad. Mostert's a smash. I mean, if he doesn't play, yeah, he's right up there with like the Kareem Hunt stuff. Strong ass role, weak ass, and maybe that you just go, hey, maybe Achan's more of like the pass outlet coming off the concussion, and Mostert gets the bulk of the work. I like that call out. That's fun. I think both guys could get there. Jalen Wright, if Achan's out, becomes interesting for sure. Tom, we'd expect nothing less. If you're not joining with a couple beers, all right, Tom. Well, so like, what are we doing this week? What are the stakes for your old puppet over here, your Texas puppet, as we call it? I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do this. Do I want to do it like pro player stance or fading a player? With Marvin Mims 2 touchdowns, it was a fade player stance. You know? You know? Brain's fried from an overtime week, guys. That's what it is. The creative juices just ain't flowing like they used to. The Raheem Mostert call out, similar to the Chase Brown stuff. His role's been super strong. Cleveland, not as much of a cupcake matchup by any means. But they should have plenty of opportunities with how bad Watson is. So like the offense is going to get plenty of chances. Raheem Mostert, similar type of split, but yeah, just like super tasty matchup, and typically was the red zone back. So, and he had a couple of multi-touchdown games last year. Obviously, that was with Tua. All accounts, Ty Huntley still the quarterback, right? Yeah. They had the bye week, so definitely interested to see how they attack that. No Metcalf value. Sad day. I think we probably take Hurts because he's not coming back to us, likely. And then we decide what we want to do here. Do we double with Smith? It's probably prudent. And then just go... Smith, we could definitely push around. So the question is, do we take Pollard again as the chalk? Or do we push the running back way off the board? Let's push the running back. I think that's smarter. Because both tight ends are also viable too. Ball is live. What's up, my fellow Horn Dog Fantasy DJs? What is up? Hit that like, hit that sub. Appreciate you, everybody hanging out. J.K. Dustbins on an island game. It's true. We are in the BR right now. Definitely not the only contest I want to play, though. I mean, there's a lot more fun, viable ones. Hell, maybe we do our Deposit Kingdom one, if that's still open. I haven't jumped in that yet. I've yet to find like a really good, like, there's the Badge Bros contest that's totally viable. I've yet to just find my groove for which one I want, and that's just busy work season, not as much get locked in on the season as I'd like. Wildcat is the $3, half the size of BR with 10K to first. That's obviously viable. Definitely want to do one of these like smaller field one to help with the bank thing. Extra point might be the way to go. Badge Bro Brawl though for the vibes. Open to suggestions. Would like to bank. Had some good sweats in BR last week. Best teams though is like Bowers missing out on a few things, sucked out, and then what was it? I was heavy on the Hurts to AJ Brown stuff. That got there. Oh yeah, it was not having Bijan really did it in. Tom said it's time to set me up a remote desktop so at least someone does some drafting. I mean, hey, what's up, DJ Sabers? I think the Saturday slap shots are very bankable. Yeah, I don't know Puck, but maybe that doesn't matter. What's up, Star Kindler? GM Burrito Boy. Tony Pollard coming all the way back around. But Devonta, you could have swapped those two. So I think we have to make ourselves maybe fade some of the chalk. And then tight end. Njoku's just doing nothing with that Watson thing. But it's probably definitely viable. Kincaid is just like, does he do anything versus that Tennessee defense? It's probably overblown what Cooper does to that role. We'll go with the projected thing. I'm by no means a Kittle guy, but his red zone role should be still fine. Updog doing my first BR slate of the year, got in 50 teams. That's nice. Yeah, this thing is like the payouts are better than ever for BR, but it's like and I mean this week does feel like one uniquely set up to attack from any angle. So definitely super viable. Do we just do another one? All right, I'm gonna do another one. I want to do that. I mentioned Hunt and Chase Brown. I'm gonna make myself take 2 late running backs, no matter what, and that'll be probably our last BR. Got to do something off the wall here. Another 4 pick. I think that's the best way to fade the like early running back stuff too, to be honest. Because there's definite ways that Barkley versus New York fails. Kenneth Walker without getting a touchdown, you know. Same thing with Bijan. And all these middle guys, same versions of themselves. I'm the KY says, I think Foreman gets the bulk of the Cleveland running back work. So that was one I was looking at too, right? Ford's out, so the pass roll is open. But Pierre Strong has operated as that kind of pass down role guy. Chubb's back. We've all assumed Foreman is kind of the Chubb replacement. So the Cleveland running back thing, and then they're not likely to overload Chubb. The coach speak was talking about like being smart with him. So what is this three-headed Cleveland running back room going to look like? Who's getting the pass work? Does that even matter? Not like Ford wasn't doing anything with it. Pierre's not like a good player. Foreman's got a 4-touchdown game in his bag, but now he's losing work to both Pierre and Chubb. Chubb is kind of looking like a partial limited time player, but their offense is just so bad, so the opportunities are limited. So I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure how to play that. I think Foreman as a touchdown or bust cheap option like DFS is fine, but if you're on DraftKings, you probably like Pierre Strong better, right? Maybe, just given the role. Yeah, I don't know that any of them become viable. If Chubb would have missed this week, Foreman would have been extremely interesting. All right, the question is, do we do another A.J. Brown team, or do we mix in Jamar over? Jamar's had his worst target share in his worst usage setup, so I still think A.J. Brown is theoretically the better play over that. Maybe we get something fun. Looking like the answer is no, though. And Drake London getting used out of the slot and very versatile versus Seattle is a very nice one, too. Mathology saying, I agree. Early in the week was clicking for 30-point players. Now I'm trying to condense the game environments. Hurts, doubles, and neighbors is fun. Yeah. Maybe that's what we do with this team. Well, what we would have done if neighbors didn't go. Amon or Drake? I think Drake. Honestly, his role is much stronger. And now we either do these guys naked, or we'll double with Smith, or we'll double with Mooney, or Bijan. We'll play what comes around. We'll likely have all the fun stuff taken and have to get tricky with it. And if we do that, and then it's okay, what's the Giants bring back? The Tracy Singletary thing is definitely interesting because they said that Tracy's earned work. He's been extremely explosive. So that's an interesting off-the-wall thing as an undrafted player. Same thing with Singletary, though. Wasn't very efficient, but what if he retains most of his role? Cincinnati, the Philly matchup, I think it's more of a pass funnel, but definitely open to how those things kind of available to attack. Probably want one of the elite tight ends here. And then play for Hurts. And then if we don't do that, we could do a Burrow-Higgins. Ooh, Burrow-Higgins with T and Chase. What do we think about that? What do we think about that? What do we fucking think about that? Huh, bitches? With the pass roll? Little Bowers value? Yes, please. Mythology have also in the portfolio Hurts, double, and 3 Lions. Both offenses go Burr. Yeah, and that's the thing. We've talked about it, just condensed teams. The teams that are scoring points, that are actually using players and putting them in position to score and be utilized well. I think that's extremely sharp and viable. Tank Dell feels poor. I think Deontay then Tank. That seems right? Kind of like that backstacked Cincinnati double, though. That's kind of fun. Those divisional games end up being wonky. Might get a little Joe Mixon value, and then you do a double value team. That could be fun. Still opens up the doubles. And then for Carolina, Andy Dalton hasn't gotten there, but this is Washington. So Deontay Johnson versus Washington. I'm surprised it's not heavy chalk. Yo, the what? Super appreciate you, brother. Thanks for stopping in. We're still workshopping what the high stakes are and whether or not it will include butt stuff. I think taking Hurts here potentially puts us. I don't love the skinny stack aspect, but he's got the rushing floor, so I don't mind it. Because AJ Brown can still get there, and so could Hurts. That just comes at the cost of Devonta and at Saquon, and we've seen that happen before. AJ Brown can get 100 yards in a tutty, and Jalen Hurts can get 2 rushing touchdowns with tush push, and that's game, folks. All right, so we have yet to take a running back. I know three receivers isn't optimal, so it could be like Pollard and Chase Brown, which is fine. But like Deontay versus Washington just seems such set up well. Washington just let Flowers go nuts. I'm surprised that's not chalky. And is a little bit of Bowers value enough to take the chalky Pollard is the question. To go Deontay and not have any kind of like lesser drafted players. I'm gonna take Deontay. I'm gonna force myself to get weird with the last running back. Because Tony it's a smash spot, but how much different is it to like one of these guys, right? Gotta be different. Saber's saying I'm gonna end up with a ton of Ayuk and be so mad when I lose. I mean, yeah, the Ayuk thing. Yeah. Kansas City's an odd one. Their pass defense is decently strong, but it seems like the rushing defense is stronger. And so it's going to be interesting to see. That said, with Mason banged up, they probably used Debo more as like the rushing screen guy, and then Ayuk's going to have his chances deep. Yeah, I mean, a guy like that, it's when he hits, you fucking win. It's kind of funny. Ayuk's turned into like the Kittle so far. Kittle's getting there way more often. And now Ayuk's like the fringy, whatever. Don't let Pollard come all the way back to me. Make me go off the wall. Make me go off the wall, damn it. Yo, I am the KY Become a Member. Appreciate you, brother. Welcome to the Fantasy Sanctuary membership. Pollard comes all the way back around. Deontay Johnson would have been at ADP here, so like this is not a unique combo at all. He projects much better than Brown, but I think the Hunt role is viable. We'll take the chalk. We'll take the chalk just because I think this combo in and of itself with the Bowers and the skinny Hurts, I think it's fine. It just feels like for the slate, I probably should have gotten off the wall though. I haven't been taking any B-Rob yet. I'm not sure how to play that. He was injured and barely played, and then still gets 2 touchdowns last week, and the matchup's soft as shit. Eckler, I think the big takeaway is that Eckler's not really. Oh, I don't want to pick him. Eckler's not really like getting workhorse role to map. Like B-Rob's doing more with less and more with more than Eckler is. So I think that's the interesting thing, right? Is B-Rob's definitely the preferred goal line guy, and McNichols is taken away more from Eckler than Eckler's taken away from B-Rob when it all comes down to it. So I don't mind it. Let's pull up. Let's see if the coach speak has anything to do with it. If he was healthy, he'd be just a fucking jam. Just try to figure out. Yeah, so 2 days ago, Cliff said B-Rob's a big part of what we do emotionally and physically. We'd like to get back to how we were playing, more balanced approach. Hopefully B-Rob will bring some of that. We can just build off the run game like we previously did. And then Dan Quinn yesterday said he had a good week, so everything's trending up. We'll take him through tomorrow in another game, see what that looks like. It was a hard miss last week. He helps shape part of our identity. You really feel his toughness and energy on a short line, goal line. Maybe that's the good pivot then, right? If he had a good week. And he had a good week. He put it in his butt. So maybe that's a worthwhile pivot there. It's a strong role. If he's going to get the short line and goal line stuff, then it doesn't matter. I mean, B-Rob and Ty Algier just got there. I like that shout. It's worthwhile. Because, like, what? The Q tag, if he doesn't go... I think you're more worried that, like, he plays a little bit and then misses. But the Q tag goes down to, like, what? Jones, Achane, Mason. Those are all super viable. Good shout. Good shout. I like the B-Rob thing probably more than the Chase Brown thing. Just because, like, they are, like, stupidly committed. Chase Brown just not doing much with the receiving role is, like, the real story. Just gonna end up with a shitload of AJ Brown. Maybe we can sneak in a little Billy double. Yeah, I think B-Rob and Jones, it's same thing. Like, their teams prioritize them in the red zone, which is huge. Eckler, though, I mean, like, this is a cupcake matchup. We said the same thing about Cincinnati, and he just didn't do much there. But he could definitely, both guys could end up getting there. We get a slight ADP value on Walker. His role is really good. I have a hard time not going out. And truly, grown-ass men. Gam season. Grown-ass men only. Now, that would be an interesting way to play that as well, is if we're counting on the pass game role to kind of help out, do you do Geno doubles with DK and Kenneth Walker? I mean, that New York game is the pass funnel thing, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. It's like, look at that. 284 yards, and they miss on like 3 potential touchdowns. So, right? You know? His usage, he's underperforming his usage like a motherfucker. Does he get there this week? The Bucks guys did. Didn't Mike Evans, wasn't his big... God damn it, of course, because it's not on the main slate. Let's see, where was it? I stand corrected, it was Godwin that had the big game, wasn't it? No, none of the guys did. What am I misremembering? Am I making up? No, it was the Atlanta guys that just went nuclear, I guess. The fucking Baltimore Bucks game is going to be electric. Okay, so no neighbors, but we might be able to set up the Jaden Terry. No, Jaden went, right? Yeah, Jaden went in the first round. Fuck. We can do the mini correlation, though. Terry and McLaurin, or Terry and B-Rob. You probably go B-Rob instead, right? Unless you do the triple with... Yeah, let's do Terry. Let's just play the offense. Let's play the offense. We just saw Bijan, London, and Algier get there versus Carolina. We can absolutely take Terry and B-Rob headless with a Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown skinny. And maybe we go to 3. The what says, when I get AJ, I love trying to push Hurts to the fit. Yeah, I mean, I have yet to try to push him, but in a room like this, I might. Because Allen goes, already took Jaden. This sets up for probably Purdy or a Rams thing with Staff. London and Jefferson, Darnold and Kirk. This is where you worry about like the Saquon Hurts stack, though. Personally, but we get a nice value on Mixon, so we'll do that, and we'll try to push Hurts in this one. I will eventually build a double gross thing, but we did see last week that, you know, just getting the Henry Bijan taps were there, and the reason why you got there. Mixon's expected role just as fucking strong as Walker, even if the matchup's not as nice. Saber saying Alan Solo is winning the slate is my stance. Maybe Pollard bring back. No, I like that. Because you're not going to try to figure out how the distribution to Cooper, to Shakir, to Kincaid works, but we also just saw that like in wacky ass games with tough matchups, like the New York Giants or the New York Jets defense has been in the past for like years. Tennessee defensive matchup kind of similar, and they're going to have lots of opportunities with like a really bad Levis. That, yeah, I mean, Alan Solo, Pollard bring back, especially with just the workload that Pollard's going to get and how that Buffalo defense is. But I could see that. I just think Jaden could go nuclear versus Carolina, though. Because if B-Rob's out, from the goal line standpoint, it's going to be easy as shit. But maybe I'll just talk about run game stuff. And maybe that's the thing. If B-Rob's out, maybe they wait another week to like go balanced with more run-heavy stuff. But we've seen Jaden be involved in that run game anyway. And so if Jaden's 2-touchdown rushing game versus Carolina sets up just as nice. Tennessee, second in run defense in DVOA, Tom, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, they've been strong as shit. Mathology saying, do it if you can get the first tier of tight end. What, for solo Allen or with AJ in the 5th pushing? All right, let's see. I think we're gonna get our Philly double here. I mean, I'm so stupid. What do you mean? What do you mean, Tyler, you dumb bitch? All right, I like the shout from Mathology, backed by Tom. We'll do the Laporta, 8th most fantasy points to Minnesota. I like that. Minnesota. What are the stakes, guys? What are the stakes? Maybe we make the stakes in the pick'em lobby. I don't know. I want to call my shot, though. Terry McLaurin 2-touchdown game feels nice. B-Rob 2-touchdown game, very live. For pushing Hurts, gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, Mathology saying pushing AJ Hurts to the 5th is great if you can get the first tier tight end. That's a great shout too, because you get the elite onesie and the elite quarterback ceiling. And we do it. We do it successfully in a room of everyone minding their manners. We push Hurts. We do not get the first tier tight end, but we do get a little Joe Mixon value, the slightest Kenneth Walker value, and a little bit of Terry McLaurin value. So while not taking anybody in the less drafted realm, potentially a unique combo of players rostered. That said, this late in the week, hard to say that with confidence, and I'd have to go check Homeboys, Battle Royale, that looks backwards, obviously. Dumbass. You think we can rip one more? We'll rip one more and then shut it down. Got some fun shit on tap for Saturday. Assume all you fine folks do as well. Is the Deposit Kingdom weekly league still up? Let's see. It is. Want to drop one of those? Check it out. All right, finally a top 2 pick. We got John in this one. Yeah, so with this, I think Kyron would like a lot. Strong ass roll, weak ass matchup. he's had a little bit of tougher matchups with Chicago and still gotten there. He's splitting work a little bit with Corum, but he's the trusted guy after Corum getting stuffed. And then we've seen with San Francisco with that weaker matchup, like we talked with, like not as strong of a matchup as people think with that rushing matchup with Kareem Hunt on tap, and gets her 2 touchdowns versus San Francisco. So like strong ass roll. Brennan Martinez, welcome to the chat, brother. If no cup this week, do I go with Pickens, Mostert, or Wandale pick 2? Half PPR or PPR? This is important for me to help you. And the Mostert thing is like HN or no HN, right? If it's PPR, I can totally see Wandale being viable. The Pickens thing, just the volume, full PPR. Okay. Well, so then it's between Mostert and Wandale for sure. Obviously, Mostert becomes the jam if HN misses, which is undetermined. Let's see. Without knowing, expert consensus ranks have Wandale much, much higher, including for Thorman. So it's as it stands right now, probably Wandale for PPR. But if HN, for whatever reason, isn't cleared for tomorrow, or we get coach speak about him being limited, I'd like facing the upside. Because here's the thing, Wandale is a floor PPR play. I think Neighbors being back helps him operate a little bit more efficiently, but like the offense is going to flow through Neighbors. So Wandale, your median range is 5 or 6 catches for 40, 50 yards. Like it's not very good. Especially now with Tracy being involved, and they want to get Tracy more work. So it's New York Giants. Their pass defense is very strong, so we expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to run more. Also, not that many reps. He's had the most reps with Fields for the last 2.5, 3 months nearly, with Russ being out with the calf and Fields working as the starter in preseason camp and practice the last 6 weeks. So yeah, and then the thing is, like, are we playing for floor or are we playing for ceiling? Because in a ceiling way, Mostert could get there with the goal line stuff. That said, Heather Huntley offense, it's just as terrifying as the Indianapolis rush D has been awful, but they had the bye week to plan for it. So it's definitely between Mostert and Wandale. Wandale is your safety blanket. Mostert's your upside play. So it really just comes down to how you want to play that. And that's assuming HN goes, because HN's going to probably get a majority of the pass work. Yeah, and I had a feeling, if you were kind of asking that, and so if you're doing that, you don't want Pickens, because Pickens' floor is terrifyingly low. His attitude sucks. He's gotten really awful negative coach speak about that. And that's impacting his volume and his like first read target share and stuff, because like they're not making plays for him to hit. So yeah, I'd say it's hard to trust that. Jaden Daniels a little bit after ADP, so this will be a fun little stackaroo. So we'll take Jaden, and I like London here. And then the Terry stack feels like a must. Although, how fun would it be to do Jaden and B-Rob and just play the rushing aspect? But the Terry roll has been strong, so it's hard to go against that. You're welcome. And Brendan, if you're still here, we're happy to answer all start, sit, and trade questions. Hit the like, hit the sub. Appreciate your support. Every little bit helps all the way. Ooh, we got Tom. Tom's excited. A little chubby, poking through. Had a few beers, had a few boners. What are we saying yes to? I said like 4 things. Pass on Terry, go B-Rob. Is that what you're getting all excited about? I mean, I'd assume we look back on the combos, and it's Jaden Terry is like one of the most popular combos. Is what I'd assume. OA. What the fuck does that mean? Maybe we do the double stack. We do Terry and B Rob. Like what you're talking about with methodology of what is it? Consolidating offenses. Oh, I is in yes. I'm talking about. What do you want, boy? What is it? We're gonna get in with the nose. All right, folks. This will be the last one. Wrap it down here. Definitely want to get interested with it. God damn it, Tom. The language barrier is showing now. I think I do want to do that, though. We saw London and Bijan being a nice stack with Kirk, who didn't get there, obviously, but he doesn't have the rushing component. So this feels like a nice, fun, potentially unique way to do it. So we will definitely be earmarking our running back for that, pending any like wild value. And I say wild value, and I will be tempted if Joe Mixon falls back around. For sure. And then the question is for wide receiver, I think Debo over Metcalf and Diggs seems like the right thing to do. We could consolidate offenses and go for the Cup thing, but if he doesn't go, I don't know that I want to go down and tank. I'd rather go to probably Deontay. Deontay bringback feels prudent. We just make a full game stack of Jaden, Terry, B-Rob with a Deontay bringback. Thoughts? Or do we do Debo, Deontay bringback and just do the Jaden Terry skinny? Huh? Thoughts? The more I talk about that, the more interested I get. Okay, Debo goes. So I like the Deontay bringback for this. Let's go after the main points environment. Who's not coming back to me? He has a tight end. Either one of these guys. The question is, do I take B-Rob here? B-Rob over Pollard? Is that too cute? Is that too stupid? Because we can scroll down at tight end to give us just as much leverage. Vance roll is interesting. Jonnu with some code speak. But again, like baby soft shit matchup for the rushing game. Eric Gall, interesting pivot away from the chalkier guys. What do we think? We got the DJ bringback. Do we double Jaden and then we just go with God at whatever tight end comes back to us? Probably. Or do we get more? I feel like maybe, do we have to get more off the board? Nope to what? Nope to double stack? I think we're going to force our hand to get a little bit more off the board with this last pick. And I'll let Methodology clarify his nope. I know he's doing yard work. All right, so right now we got Jaden, Terry McLaurin with a Deontay Johnson bringback, just going after that game environment. We've got Kyron Williams as our anchor versus Las Vegas, and we took the Sam Laporta shout out versus Minnesota at our tight end. So now we get to weigh the Pollard chalk, the B-Rob double stack for the game environment. We have the Aaron Jones Detroit correlation. Yup. Okay, so you're against double stacking Jaden with the running back. Is that the yup? We've got the Jordan Addison Detroit. Okay, too cute. Okay, fair enough. Addison mini correlation with Laporta I like. JMO Similar vein, double stacking, Detroit game environment, explosive plays, fade the Amon-Ra, fade the D-Mont, fade the Gibbs, but go after the high-scoring offense. Go a little off the board with Kareem Hunt. And we've got the aforementioned Chase Brown. We've got the B-Rob lever off of with Eckler with the cupcake matchup. A.J. Brown, not too cute. Or objectively not too cute. All right, well, the chalk comes all the way back around to us anyway. So we will follow the advice of Mathology and not do the too cute thing. And we'll say we don't have to get too cute because we've done a skinny stack with a bring back, which I don't think a lot of teams are doing. And I think in the future, I will want to make one of these picks more off the board for a little bit of drafted leverage. All right, so our last team was Jaden Daniels, Kyron Williams, Tony Pollard, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Sam Laporta. I like that. That's fun. Fun, sound, solid, not too cute. We're going to call our shot here as we close out. Kyron Williams, 2 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson, 100 yards and a touchdown. And we're saying if Laporta scores 2 touchdowns, I will deep throw to Quesadilla. And if Joe Mixon scores 3 touchdowns, the burrito is in play. All right, folks. Thanks so much for joining. Thank you for joining us for big stakes, big takes, and ass chasing. Have a great weekend. Good luck. See you tomorrow morning for Last Minute Start Sit. Hit the like, hit the sub. Every little bit helps. Appreciate everyone joining us today. I will go toss an entry into the puck. Appreciate everybody. Have a good one. Much love.